Hello and welcome. Today I'm bringing you in on a little bit of an investigative journey with this razor. This is a Wade and Butcher. Looks to be pretty full hollow to me. Let's try to get that over. It's a little hard with my setup for me to figure out where the lens is. Anyway, so let's see if I can. There we are. You can sort of see what the shape is there. Boy, it's really hard backwards and upside down. Anyway, it looks pretty full hollow to me. And this razor belongs to HD at HD Shaves, the YouTube channel, and I'll try to link that in the description if I think of it. And I've actually seen this razor a couple times before. He had a very well-known razor restorer, at least well-known to the Reddit, where we a bunch of us reside socially. Anyway, he sent this off to a well-known restorer who put new scales on it and also sent it back sharpened and said that there might be a temper issue with the blade. And HD decided, he told me he never really got a great shave with it. And I said, well, I've got this super duper microscope. Why don't you send it to me? I have experience with edges that have poor temper. Let me take a look at it. And I did, and the edge itself didn't look bad. And so I said, well, I'll put a Jnat edge on it and test it, and we'll see. And I did, and it took an edge, and the test that I had was pretty good, and I told him that, so I sent it back. But his first shave with it was not good. He didn't like it at all. So apparently it came back to me, and I don't remember this, but my records show that it came back and I put a synthetic edge on it. And he still has never been completely thrilled with the way this razor shaves, but he said it shaved a little better. And he's got like 3 or 4 shaves on it now, and we met it. We were talking and he handed me this razor again at the recent Maggard meet, because I said, well, let's see if the temper in this razor is located at just the edge of the razor. And that's often the case. If you have temper problems that occur from buffing or polishing with a motorized wheel, a lot of times the temper of the blade itself won't be damaged, but where the metal is very, very thin, it can be. So anyway, to make a long story a little longer, it's back. My thinking is that, my hope is that what we're doing is moving back by sharpening, that maybe this will be the last time it needs sharpening, that hopefully we're moving back into metal that has good temper, assuming it's a temper problem, and or a temper tantrum, and that this time it'll take a exceptional edge. Now what I'm going to do is start. This is the 4K. I've flattened it and wetted it down, and there's a little bit of slurry on it. And so I'm going to start with the 4K, really establish a good edge. This edge, as handed back to me after only a couple of shaves, does not test well. I've got a little bit of sharpness there. A little bit of sharpness there, none here, none here. So it's uneven, and often that's a little weird, because often what you'll have is majority of the wear will tend to be more towards the center of the razor. So, but you never can tell. Everybody has a slightly different style of shaving. So Anyway, that's the goal. Start on the 4K, return sharpness that would be reasonable coming from a 4K, then move to a Jnat. I'll go from the 4K to a coma on a Jnat, and then Tomo slurry on the Jnat, and then plain water or a soapy solution, or both. Well, kind of as usual, I'll play that part by ear. All right, so let's create a little bit more, because I've been talking. This is probably dried out. Let's create a little more slurry here and get going. Oh, I'll show you the condition of the edge right now before I really start. Okay, you will hopefully have seen the image of the center of the razor. It does look like a fair amount of wear. I mean, I showed you an image of the center. The entire edge kind of looks like that. There's no area that's really bad. There are some areas that are a little better. And it looks a little bit like more than what you would expect from 3 or 4 shaves. But it doesn't look bad, and so this is why I have hope that maybe, maybe we're getting into some good metal. So we'll see. This is an adventure for me, and maybe a way for you to go to sleep. I don't know. All right. This is a bit of a voyage of discovery. I don't remember this razor at all, although I have records. So, first thing for me to see is how does it react on the stone, and that's for me, it's an advantage to do this on synthetic stones, simply because of the consistency of the stone. I know from sharpening to sharpening how this stone is going to react. With a natural stone, it's very predictable too, but the fact is, it's not an engineered material, so there are going to be variations of the stone's performance, however slight, between each use. So let's see. I feel like we're making progress here. Now what I'm doing is paying a lot of attention to the feel, and to the feel on each side, to how the slurry is moving on each side. I want the feel and the way the slurry moves against the razor to be the same. That'll tell me that the edge is right under the spine, and is a as good an indication as any that, or tells me, it's a way of telling me whether I need more work on one side than another one. And shaping work I would want to do on this stone. So that's why I'm paying a lot of attention here. I think I'm going to do a little driving of the toe in this direction, because it feels to me like this is coming up a little bit. So I'm going to do just a little extra work here to move the toe in this direction, so that when I come back, it starts to pick up, is more in line with the rest of the edge. See, that's very good. That's starting to be better. Yeah, there we go. Didn't need much. And obviously I'm going to check that on the old microscope. Okay, let's do a little edge deburring. And this is the big test, you know, is this should look pretty uniform. It should have a uniform scratch pattern, uniform edge shape, and should be sharp. So we're going to test sharpness now. We're using a slightly used packing peanut. Okay, so we definitely have better sharpness and even sharpness along the whole edge. So that's looking really good. I'm going to pause and do a deep inspection on the edge. Okay, I'm back. I took a look at both sides of the razor, and the edge looks absolutely terrific. The uniformity is actually beyond what I would hope for, except for at the toe, right at the back side, I can see a little area where I'm not reaching the edge. And I'm going to show you a microscope photo of at the center of the face side of the razor, and that's indicative of everywhere on the edge, except for right here at the toe on the back side. And so next I'm going to show you a picture of that area. Okay. Now the what you saw in the picture of the toe is extremely small. The area between the scratch pattern that I've applied and the actual apex is on the order of 4 or 5 microns. So you wouldn't see that with a microscope that wasn't as powerful as mine, and it tests sharply here. But I've got sort of an OCD issue, so I'm going to do a little bit more work on the edge. I spun this, cleaned the stone off, spun it, and flattened it, and then put a little bit of slurry on it. Sorry, walking and chewing gum is difficult for me. So I'm just going to put just a little bit more effort into the back side of the razor. This is the face side. So I'm going to put a little bit more effort into that, and I'm not going to ruin the rest of the edge. I'm doing this very lightly because it tested sharply, so it has good sharpness, and so I know I can move on, and we're going to do that in a second. But at this grit level, that little bit of work that I need to do to this side will be done more quickly with this abrasive. Okay, let's move to the Jnat. I'm going to use the Nakayama Maruka Shohonyama stone, which is my most expensive Jnat. All right, let's get going here, and I'll come back to you after I have the stone on here leveled and am about to put some slurry on. Okay, I'm back. with the Jnat. This is my Coma Nagura, and find an area here on which to use to create a slurry. I don't like to use a lot of pressure when I'm creating a slurry. I just let it develop. I'm going to create a relatively thick slurry here. Thick for me. I tend to not go too overboard on these, but I want to. First of all, I want to move I want to reestablish the scratch pattern using the the Jnat scratch pattern, which has a overall of a more bead blasted effect or look, and then I'm kind of willing to. The edge looked very, very good, and so I'm kind of, I have some hope that we're getting into really good metal, and so I don't mind a little thicker slurry here to help get us a little further into that good metal, if that's in fact where we are. The rubber will meet the road with a shave test, as I'm sure you can imagine. All right, let's see how this goes. Feels good. One of the joys of Jnat-isms are that there's an awful lot of great feedback to be had from these stones. Yeah, wonderful feedback. I'm doing the sort of thing that I talk about in the fundamentals video, which I just did. I am sort of trying to reinforce the notion of a little bit of a smile in this razor. The another thing that I've talked about, when I do an inspection of the edge, I definitely spend a lot of time looking at the heel. It's very important, in my view, that the entire edge be uniform, and it's very easy when you're doing this kind of thing to sharpen like this, and you don't want to do that. Because not only do you create uneven wear at the edge, you're creating uneven wear at the spine, and both of those at some point need to get rectified, or the shaving performance will decrease over time. Okay, so I think we're kind of loving. Sorry, I'm really concentrating here. I want to, I'm a little concerned about still about this area. I may let it go. I may not, if it tests well, then I may just let it go. I could conceivably go back and reshape this. You can see how it turns up into this area. And so, you know, you can roll into that, which is what I've been doing. I'm thinking I'm just going to let that be. All right, I need to go check this here. We may go to a thinner slurry before I go to the Tomo. Where's my? Yeah, here we go. Nice, fresh, almost freshly minted packing peanut here. Okay, that's very, very good right there at the heel. Very good. This is what we want to see. And yeah, see the toe tests very nice and sharp. So I'm gonna, this is great. This is great. So maybe I'm gonna do just a slight slightly, just a few passes on a thinner slurry. The idea of thinning a slurry is that you have an even layer. You still have a distribution of abrasive that the edge runs over, but that layer is thinner. That's the idea with diluting. If you dilute so far that you don't have an even, I mean, I'm maybe at the too far level here. But if you dilute to the point where you don't really have a slurry that has evenly distributed particles, then you have uneven abrasion, and so that's not what you want. You want even abrasion. So I'm gonna call that good, and then we're gonna move on. I don't think I've ruined the sharpness, and there's no great value in trying to push the edge at this point. I'm also, the edge off the 4K looks so good, and I hope might be fooling myself here, but the edge looked so good that I'm going to go without going to the microscope. I'm going to continue without going to the microscope. I'm going to do the same thing here. Going to create a thickish slurry that's on the thicker side, for me at least. And go at it, hopefully to see an improvement in sharpness. And then I'm going to do my funny business with stropping, and then we'll go to final finishing. Yeah, I don't like the idea of doing, really gouging the surface of the stone with when I do now. Yeah, when I create a slurry, I like the idea of bringing it up kind of evenly across the stone. If you had to accentuate an area to bring up slurry, you probably want to do it at the ends, because the motion of sharpening tends to tends to dip the stones. All right. I should probably pause and not make you watch me do these things. Sorry about that. All right, let's see what we have here. Again, amazing feel. There's a velvety softness. I mean, it's a very hard stone. As Jnats go, this is a very hard stone, but the feel is kind of velvety when you have the slurries on it, and it's even velvety feeling with water, and especially with soapy solution or glycerin solution. That really feels good. I can get away with half strokes even at this level because all I'm doing is braiding, and I'm using just enough pressure to keep the edge against the stone. And I could there is I can lighten up on that pressure. I'm kind of doing that now. You can see that the slurry appears to be thickening, and that's partly because the stone soaks up some water as I move back and forth. It dries out as I move back and forth, and some of it falls off the edge. Do a little cleaning here. I'm very interested to see what our sharpness situation is. Doing a little rolling of pressure to make sure that the toe is getting addressed. I'm being quite nitpicky about that. Okay. All right, let's see how we did. Oh, that's great. That's really nice. Again, very nice. Very, very nice. All right, let's do a little bit of stropping, and then we better take a look at this before final finishing. So I'm going to pause you, do the stropping, take a look, and I will be back. All right, I stropped and took some images, and everything looks really, really good. Let's do some testing here. Oh, wow, that's great. That's really good. Well, so it's testing as good as it looks. And, this is still with slurry and 25 laps on the fire hose linen. That is just really good. So I'm a little concerned about how far to push this. I think I'm going to show you so I took 2 images. I did an image for you of the backside at the toe to show you how that has now been addressed. And then I took an image of the face side of the razor at the center, because that is really the condition of the edge. it's the condition of the edge now on both sides, on both sides of the razor. So I'm gonna pause and show you those images. Okay, I'm back. I cleaned the stone, flattened the stone, and I think I'm gonna go directly to just a little bit of soapy solution. I'm not too sure how much I want to push this edge, so I'm going to be a little bit careful. Going to go very slowly to make sure that I don't have an impact at the edge. If this edge is weak, then I don't want to weaken it further by having an area of the edge weakened through an impact with a piece of abrasive, or a strong impact with a piece of abrasive. It's impacting all the time, but we want that to be even and not concentrated at some area of the edge. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of water on there, hence the term soapy solution. Okay. All right, I'm not going to draw this edge out using trailing edge strokes. It's pretty doggone sharp. I like that we don't have a shoulder that we have to worry about. I'm definitely accentuating this smile thing. I haven't been telling you about this, but I have been putting slightly more pressure at the heel than the rest of the razor, and I mean slightly, because I do want a little bit of asymmetric wear. I want to make sure that, because the heel can come off so easily, especially when I'm putting more of a smile shape into the edge, I know pressure and abrasion are related, and so more pressure, more abrasion, and so because the heel is spending less time on the stone, I'm trying to make sure that it gets an equal amount of abrasion as the rest of the edge, which has less pressure. Now I'm doing that thing where I am really just feeling this in this direction. It feels a little bit closer to the stone than in this direction, and I'm definitely drawing on experience. I have pretty good feel. And so, and these are micro, in my view, these are little micro adjustments that I'm doing here. Part of the advantage of going slowly is you can really feel, you get a lot more feedback from the edge on the stone. All right, so I don't think I want to do too much more. Let's I'll do a test to make sure we haven't gone backwards, and then we'll do final stropping, and then a look at the edge, a final look at the edge, and and we'll be done with this part. Okay, I'm going to go away. I'll come back. Okay, I went from the soapy water solution and did take a look at the edge under the microscope because I didn't want to have pushed it too far before going on to the next step. So I'm gonna show you that image now. It's an image again at the center, center of the face side of the razor, because that's the condition of the entire edge on both sides. And so I have real high hopes for this edge. So I'm going to show you that image now. So then I came back. I did 25 laps on a fire hose linen hanging strop. I did 50 laps on my steer hide leather bench strap here. And it's time to test. I'm bringing you along for that activity. Again, I have high hopes. Oh yeah, that's pretty phenomenal. Yeah, that's, you know, we're definitely in, oh yeah, that's great. We're in push into the cloud territory here. And we have it along the entire edge. That's really just phenomenal. That's excellent. All right, so I'm going to go take final images of the edge. I'm going to do a shave, and I'll be back to discuss the result. Okay, so here is the image of the center of the razor that was taken after final stropping. And I'm back from the test shave, which went magnificently. This is as good an edge as I get on any 6/8 razor. Just really comfortable, really close shave. I'm really happy with it. And I also, well, what's going to matter is not how happy I am, but how happy HD Shaves is. So, you know, I'll be sending this on to him, and you know, he can decide whether it's any better or not. One thing that I did worry about is, okay, how much wear does one shave do? And so I did a microscope image of this edge at the same point here at the center, after this shave. And again, you know, these images that I show you at the center are indicative of I'm doing a full edge inspection, so they're indicative of what I'm seeing across the whole edge. Okay, so here's the last image. As always, thank you for watching this video, and I again thank you for all the kind comments and great questions that I've been receiving. We will see you in the next one. Bye.